Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the third round of the AEC mini-series. We are here at the Sakir International Circuit in Bahrain where 10 teams will take to the track. And, well, the aim for 9 of the teams climb up the order in the mini-series, but for PSR, consolidate or even extend that 30-point lead at the top of the table. Joining me this evening once again is the brilliant Ross Greenhorn. How are you doing, mate?
I like that little roll on the B. Hello everyone and welcome back. Another week of fantastic racing ahead of us. Obviously last week we hoped to leave it to you to pick the track, but Tom Net decided otherwise, so then it was left to the chat, and they all picked Bahrain for this week. But not to worry, stick around the end of the stream. Joseph F1's had a spin of the wheel. 5 tracks to vote for in the poll, so hopefully we can have a lovely little interesting poll, and it's not going to be a whole one-sided thing. Where everyone votes for one, then there's going to be 1 or 2 that vote for the odd track. So let's hope to have an exciting vote there. But yeah, welcome back everyone. Hope it's going to be an enjoyable stream. Yeah, as you said last week, what a result it was for the guys in PSR. That 1-2 by Kai and by Sam. It was a fantastic race in the end, obviously taking pole position, then taking the race from it, which was a pretty hectic race, to be said. It was very good in the midfield, good battle all the way along the way, but I think today can be even better. Bahrain, it's one of those tracks where there's overtaking opportunities at every single corner. So that first sector is very, very short, but that middle sector rides it for a long time. So there's a lot of overtaking opportunities and a lot of chances for people to make those early manoeuvres. But let's hope that today it's just as exciting as it was last week, and let's enjoy ourselves today.
Absolutely, and I'd just like to rewind 1 week to say thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. This time last week we had a peak concurrent viewers tally of 73, I think it was, which is outstanding for a, completely non... You could say it's just like a warm-up season. So the interest for this and the support surrounding it has been absolutely fantastic. So we cannot thank you enough. Anyway, it's time to head into qualifying. Sorry about the short delay. We're just waiting on PSR Nick, who's had a couple of internet issues. Let's hope that isn't long-lasting and that he can continue on here tonight. But a quick run through the standings then, and like I said, it is PSR with the 30-point lead, 92 they have. TV8 are the team in second, they are on 62 points, close behind. FRT on 55, NRX 42, NVR 40, EXR 22, Shazoo 12, SLRT 8, BRT 5, and AERT, who have been replaced by Ground Effect Spec Racing, that's GSR, they are on 5 points. And let's start with AERT, as they're obviously having to withdraw due to not being able to field 2 drivers really on a consistent basis. It's obviously a shame, but it's always good to rotate the teams and give others a chance when they can obviously get the lineup in.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's good, especially at this point in the season where it's not a proper tournament, where they're not really fighting for much. Obviously, it would be good to win the mini-series, but also we're just preparing for what is yet to come in the AEC Tier S season that'll be coming up in a few weeks' time. So yeah, no, it's good to rotate the teams, bring in a couple of new teams that haven't really had their chance on the big stage, you could say. Obviously, AERT had their chance, only 5 points, which to them would probably be not that bad of a result considering the teams that they are up against every single week, the likes of PSR, MVR, FRT, etc, etc. So there's going to be maybe another few changes along the way. Maybe GSR might be out of here by next week, we never actually know, but I'm sure they'll take their chance this week, enjoy it for what they know, so they'll try their best, pick up the best result as possible, see if they can qualify well. And yeah, no, I do wish them the best of luck today. Obviously there's a very competitive grid ahead of us. The last outing on console is for PSR. Smokey is officially making that move to PC, which I wish him all the best for as well. I'm sure he'll do tremendously over there, like a few of his PSR compatriots, Wilson and Skither as well, who's also had a couple of good results already in the PSGL social races. So yeah, good luck Smokey, and I'm sure you'll get on just fine. But a couple of people on the out laps now, so not far away from the first laps of the session.
It's always Shazoo Don that is out nice and early, and he's done the same again. The Frenchman driving for Alpine, making his way up now through turn 11 and the flat out right of turn 12. He is, of course, doing the good old brake application, generate a lot of front and rear tyre temperature from that. A very effective way of doing it, rather than scrubbing a set of tyres throughout the lap. But of course, Bahrain, a circuit that we all know very, very well indeed, a regular, you could say, on most calendars in league racing and of course social racing as well. We've seen it last night, lobbies 1 through 3. What can you expect from this circuit then, and how will the drivers get on with it, considering our first 2 races have been so clean?
Yeah, no, they really have been the best of the best you could really ask for. Obviously, everyone's going to be trying to attack Bahrain with as much as they possibly can. As I said, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities, primarily down in turn 1. People do enjoy a nice dive bomb up the inside around there. Can maybe be an overtake down here where Elton's about to pass through in middle of start of sector 2, sorry, right down here. It's a prime overtake opportunity as well. Down the hill can sometimes be used. Obviously, we've seen that switchback manoeuvre by Fernando Alonso at the start of the real F1 season. That was quite the move, to say the least. Also, another dive bomb opportunity. As you come into this corner, as you can see, there's literally overtaking opportunities in every single part of the track. So it's one of those tracks where you either pick your moment early, or you just wait and try and see if you can get the DRS on that main straight and make as many overtakes as possible. With the DRS also being a bit more powerful in this game, it is really anyone's game to see who can take the leads early on and see you can carry that on all the way through. Obviously, Lobby 1 was very competitive last night. Liam Bowman led all the way, but I believe it might have been a bit of contact in the end that caused him to lose out on that win. Shizou Venom picked up with that one, so they'll be coming in with a bit of confidence, you say. MVR with Liam Bowman and Axe, primarily those 2 drivers have been very strong with this track over the years, so I want to see how those 2 do tonight and see if they can pick up a good result for novice racing.
Absolutely, and Shizou Wilton setting his banker lap, and it's not a bad banker. 128.23 line. More drivers to head across the line now. Smokey starting his first qualifying lap. GSR Wheeze crosses the line, a 29.0 to kickstart his session. Just trying to flick through nice and quickly. Some outlaps still coming in. Firmsy rounding there as well. Griffiths getting some running in on the medium tyres. If that might even be his first practice of the week, so you can't really fault him if he is just getting some sighter laps in. We've got PSR Nick halfway around the lap, and from what I can see, his lag situation has improved for the time being, so that is an encouraging start for him. We've got a Haas coming around the final corner. That is one of the NRX drivers, and it's Quantum, a 28.088. We're nearing those illustrious 1 minute 27s as Bobberts, the other Shizou driver, pops up into P2 at the moment before Liam Bowman, one of, if not the quickest driver around here on Bahrain, on Xbox, on the time trial leaderboards. If we can read anything into that, this is going to be a good track for him.
Absolutely, actually fun job up in a P6 as well. Ballwart's up in a P4 and 5 for Shizou, looking to pick up a good result for that team as well. SLR Nico into P10, GSR Jane finishing off, PSR Nick jumping just down behind Liam Bowman there, both into the .8s in this session so far. Looks like an Alpha Tauri rounded out that final corner for PSR Smokey, see if he can follow up on his teammates' recent lap time there. As he comes across the line, he is 2 tenths clear early on in this session. PSR Smokey jumps well clear. Liam Bowman with that banker lap, also very quick. As always with WWR Tier 1 champion of the back end of last season, Firmsy on his future racing team debut, should I say. He's coming across the final corner now. Is he going to cross the line? It's a 28.7 to the man that's recently just moved to no assist, so I'm going to wish him the best of luck tonight on his future racing team debut. Picking up a good result for that team has been very strong all the way through this mini-series. Obviously FRT West, a standard driver for them. Those past 2 races, that almost podium in Jeddah was there to be, but a late collision did cause that dream to die very, very quickly. But I'm sure they will bounce back from that last week's race again, as they're currently sitting very well in the standings, still keeping competitive with the rest of them. I believe they're around P3. They are indeed P3. 13 points clear of NRX and P4, who have also got a couple of debuts tonight in NRX Quantum. And I believe this might be one for M Racer as well. I'm not going to 100% say that is true, but AMS Anthony crossed the line for EXR, and he's into P12. So everyone just getting their laps in now. It looks like only a couple more drivers to set a proper lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening to everybody that is popping up in the Twitch chat. Can always count on everybody to come in and say hello, which is absolutely fantastic to see. I was just looking back on the Season 1 Tier S results, and it was the opening round of the season. It was Choco that took victory for Visceral Racing, and they actually scored the most points around here. And well, what's happened to them? Of course, well, changes in management. They inherited the likes of Axe and Cobb from Novus Racing. They went back, reformed the team, the current team that we still have here tonight, and now, of course, Clenzo announcing this afternoon that he's leaving the team completely, and as the console F1 team hit a blockade and didn't continue. So it's just crazy what can change in the space of around 6 months. And we look here tonight, and Smokey moving on. We just don't know who in this grid might just be the next big thing. You just don't know.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a couple of young drivers like still taking part. F14 Justin, I think he's only around 13 years old. He's obviously going to be one to watch. If he can end up picking up pace this game, you never know who really is going to be the next best thing in this game. As you said, obviously a couple of drivers have really came up through the last few games. Liam Bowman being one of them. Obviously, 2 years ago, I remember that man being on ABS and line. And now look at P2 currently in the mini-series, just behind PSR Smokey and ahead of PSR Nick, so he's definitely one to watch coming onto this game. Trying to see if he can get into WR Tier 1. I've heard as he's been sweating out the Netherlands Grand Prix, making sure he tries to get the perfect run in, so I do wish him all the best in that as well. But everyone back out on a couple of outlaps, as like Supply Raptor is on his first lap of the day. Let's see as he falls on, coming down the hill now. We've seen that luscious overtake by Fernando Alonso on Lewis Hamilton, to see if anyone could try and recreate that today with that lovely switchback he got at the start of the F1 23 season. See follow on though, so he's coming towards near the back end, offside to turn up the hill. He comes to the left hand now, getting a little nicer on the throttle in that Williams car for FRT. Currently sitting best at P14 with Fermsay. Supply Raptor, usually a man, he used to be an MVR but seems to be doing pretty well in this game so far. The Seal man, he likes to call himself, he loves to call everyone his favourite Seal. So let's see, can the Seal put his car into the top 10 for FRT? You've had some very good results in AEC this season. Get around at the final corner now. Doesn't ride out that edge, that left-hand side curb, as we've seen a couple of drivers do. He's going to get DRS on for a short amount of time, and it is into P8 for Supply Raptor 285. That's a good lap for him, and that should see him be starting pretty well, hopefully, if he's got a bit more time in that as well. Yeah,
it's rare we get to actually watch a lap throughout its entirety, and Supply Raptor has done pretty well. Up into P8, a couple hundredths of a second off Shazoo Ilton, who was, of course, the first driver to set a lap in this qualifying session. He will now go again, and we've got some other drivers on laps at the moment. I think at the front, in terms of the major drivers, perhaps pushing for pole position, NRX Quantum is coming up through turn number 4 now. It was reprofiled when it was after its first race in 2004, just a little bit of an alteration by a couple of meters, giving us the track, a relatively unchanged track that we still have today. Of course, the fantastic $150 million facility here in Bahrain. A brilliant circuit for racing, and the fan favourites, you could say, because of its 3 DRS zones and the opportunity to actually make some overtakes. But Quantum, what you'll see here is it will take the esports line and run really wide onto that curb going into turn number 11, maximising his turn in there. Nice late apex, and he'll carry the speed all up throughout turn 11 and turn 12, which is flat out before he brakes for turn 13. You're pretty much at the highest point here around the circuit before you start descending a small downhill section that brings you in to the final braking event of the lap. Turn 14, that brings you into 15 as well. It's just sort of 2 corners merged into one within the track limits. Often gets a bit controversial when the game doesn't pick it up, but Quantum crosses the line and he's found just over a 10th on his personal best lap, a 127.971.
Yeah, Racer just jumps into P3 there as well, just following on from his teammate. Seems going to be an Alpine cross the line now. It's Shazoo Elton up into P5, breaking that to 27 barrier for Shazoo. And he's got the McLaren of Simba Rocks. One is going to cross the line now after a slight little toll from SLR Nico. Simba Rocks cross the line, and he actually does. It's just starting off his lap, actually. Never mind, that's just the game messing me up again. You see the Mercedes of Haloginak also starting off his laps. He's a couple other people just getting themselves all set up. It's trying to show me people are actually on their laps, they're just starting off their lap. Let's see, can I find someone who is on a lap? Let's see, Josh Gilly, it's just rounded out the final side now. He's a 10th and a half up. PSR Smokey though, decides to jump to the top of the session again. He's now 4 tenths clear from Liam Bowen up there in P1. That's a fantastic lap by Smokey, trying to see if he can break that 0.3 barrier probably later on in the session. Josh Gilly though is going to round at the final corner now in that Mercedes car for Team Valorant, who currently sit in P2 in the standings. He's going to cross the line. It's P11 for Josh Gilly. He'll probably be expecting a little bit better than that once it comes to the back end of the session. Actually fun though, he's also flying on a lap. He's up at the P5, breaking that 27 barrier again for MVR. Liam Bowman just up the road in P2. P5 for them, looking very good so far for novice racing.
To tell you how good that lap is from Smokey a couple of weeks ago in WRR, and I say a couple of weeks, I think it was not last Friday when we did Austria, the Friday before, so barely even 2 weeks. He was the pole sitter with a 127.592, so he's almost put 2 tenths on that lap from just under a fortnight ago. His improvement is still coming on strong. He'll carry that momentum over to PC. He says that it's arriving tomorrow, so that setup process will of course begin, and we should see him in action within maybe a week or two, which is of course an exciting time for him, for PSR, as he might well continue over onto their PC roster. Have carried a few drivers over on from Xbox in the past, I do believe, so I'm sure they'll be very happy to support him in that transition. Josh Gilly, low fuel mode, making his way back to the pit lane. Firmsy, likewise, also on an in-lap. That leaves Supply Raptor, who is again running a little bit out of sync. He's on an outlap here, and it might be his last in the session.
Yeah, no, maybe the timing a little bit off for Raptor, but I'm sure he'll be trying to set his best lap he possibly can anyway. He's going to round out the final corner and get himself going for what might be his final lap. He might just run into the pits after this if it isn't the best of laps, but he's going to start off this lap anyway. He's going to DRS in 200 metres time and get himself going for what might be one final time. A 28.259. His current time he's trying to beat. If he can beat that by 2 tenths, that still jumps him to about P8, which is still a very good starting position for Supply Raptor. In at turn 1, then he goes. A lovely little slide, as you like to do in this F1 23 game. Up into 4th gear nice and early. Good traction on the exit. It's going to be DRS all the way up this first sector part of the track. Up into turn 4 now, he's going to be braking around the 100 metre board, dropping down at the 4th gear, keeping it nice and tight to that curb on the inside. A nice little exit on the outside curb there. He's coming towards that sector 1 split line. That is a half a tenth up currently on that 28.2. That's enough to put him into the 0.1s, but not really enough to move him anywhere else. He's going to fly on down this lap though towards turn 9 and 10. This double left hander, obviously you're flicking it left to go downhill and you're braking all the way down the hill, making sure you don't lock those rears and spin the car around. He's going to get a nice little traction. Lovely little slide at the corner. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, if you're going to back off or not, but he's still flying down the lap. It looks like he might back out of this one. He's still going, it looks like though, as he flies on. Is he still? I'm not actually sure. He's still going up the hill though for turn 12 on the right hander, who like to ride that curb but very slightly on the inside to help out with the rotation. He's going to get a nice amount here. He's 3.5 tenths down. I think that will be the end of Supply Raptor. I'm not sure for the qualifying session. I think it might be actually for Raptor. I think that might be it. But there's a couple people on outlets, one of them being PSR next, so let's see how they're going to do and what will be their final runs.
Yeah, shame there for Supply Raptor. He will come back into the pit lane. Has he got enough time? He'll fly into the pit lane because he wants to save as much time as he can. It'd be a miracle if he can get out there again, though he might have selected the harder tyre compounds, Ross, which means he only has 2 sets of softs for the qualifying session. So we'll keep that in mind if he goes into the race, and maybe try something else in terms of strategy. Always worth looking out for. I think Nick might have had a small relapse in his lag, but further ahead it's GSR Wheeze, and this looked like a flying lap attempt as well. So I think his qualifying session is over. No assist debut here in AEC for Ground Effect Spec Racing. They've got a car down in P18. They've got a car in P14 as well. GSR James, the man, is going to have to try and make those improvements coming up then, as PSR Nick will be the first driver around. The young German, now 13 years old, of course. A joke that he just seems to have never aged, but he is starting to, and he's starting to show his maturity as well. Is heading down into the first corner then. Heavy braking zone about 100 metres out. You want to be hitting the brakes hard, but avoiding the possibility of a rear lockup. that you can manage that slide and gain a little bit of time at the apex of the corner. This is going to be a very difficult lap to commentate because he's all over the road.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird snap. I've seen that as well. He is half 10th down on that current lap. Indeed, I'm sure he's got a bit more time in the middle and last sector though that he can gain as he flies on down this part of the track through turn 8 there as he gets a nice amount of traction on exit towards the double left-hander at turn 9 and turn 10. Hook it up nicely, get that lovely little kink on the outside, touch the curb on the inside. I'm not sure it's going to be his greatest lap ever. I'm not sure he is actually going to gain anything on this lap. GSR I'm confirming that'll be it for him in this session. P18 at best for him as Peter Nick coming up the hill now towards turn 12. We've seen the driver take the inside curb a bit, help it with the rotation. There you go, you see it there with Nick touching that inside curb. He is now half a 10th up. That is an ultimate middle side. We're going to get a lovely tow here from PSR Smokey to help him out and see if we can make it. A PSR 1-2 is Smokey. Gives him a tow all the way down this straight, giving him a lovely tow. He moves out the way nice and late. Towards the last corner now comes PSR Nick and hook this lap up. And will it be good enough for ahead of M Racer and Liam Bowman? Is he going to come across the line now? DRS opens up for PSR Nick. It comes across the line and it is enough for P2. A 27.701. It's a 1-2 for PSR again.
They finished there last week. They're qualifying there as it stands. M-Racer jumping up into third. The 2/100th improvement was enough to see him go a place higher on row 2. Quantum has crossed the line as well. No positional improvement for him, but a good lap to maybe see him stick with his teammate for the early part of the race. We'll see though. Liam Bowman heading down now into the final couple of corners. Can he spoil the PSR 1-2 and maybe split them down the middle, or indeed go for pole position here? Here comes Liam Bowman crossing the line. He has gone second, not by much. 300ths of a second over Nick, but it was enough as he has put his Alfa Romeo and NVR onto the front row. Axe, meanwhile, is slow coming up through turn 12. His qualifying session looks to be over as Shazim Hilton crosses the line and goes 6th fastest. BRT Tamino really far off the circuit as well. This looks like a slipstream for Griffiths, who makes his mini-series debut here tonight. Round to the final corner comes Griffiths, and he was on the mediums at the start of the session. He's on the softs now and hasn't improved on his lap. This is looking like a very slow end to qualifying. GSR James down on his time as well. He won't be able to improve with Anthony shooting up the order for EXR. It's P8 and a respectable qualifying position for EXR. Simbarox 1 will be the last driver, I believe, around unless Smokey can improve. No, he's 3 seconds down on this lap. Simbarox 1 also not improving, drawing a quick end to this qualifying session. It's Smokey, Bowman and Nick, your top 3.
Yeah, nice little qualifying there to seal the deal. What a lap it was for Van Smokey. With 5 minutes left to go, he's took pole position by 2.5 tenths of a second. And it's really good now that he is moving to PC. He's going to give the others a chance to try and catch up to him, because that was a fantastic lap in the end of the session. A 27.403 is what that is some lap to say the least. Here's the full classification of the short qualifying then for the Bahrain Grand Prix. PSR Smokey back on top, 2.5 tenths clear of Liam Bowman in P2, starting on the front row next to him. Back in the second row though, PSR Nick and M Racer 9. A good result for NRX with 4.5 from NRX Quantum as well there. Shizu Elton in P6. Axif 1 did not get that final lap for P7. AMS Anthony, a very good qualifying for EXR and P8. ESV Boberts in P9. BRT Tomato rounds out the top 10. He got Supply Raptor P11, Josh Gilly P12, Fermsey P13, Halogenak P14, BRT Griffiths P15, GSR James P16, FRT Justin P17, GSR Weeds P18, and it's a back row lockout by SLR for Simbarox 1 and SLR Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. Qualifying coming to an end then, and we will have a 29 lap race ahead of us. And, well, the sky is obviously rather clear and the sun dipping below the horizon. The circuit is actually lined with 5,000 lights, and we will be illuminated very well, to say the least then. Right, I'm going to test the polls, because if you are unfamiliar with what we're doing after tonight's race, we are doing a track vote for round number 4. You'll be able to see all of the candidates at the end of the stream. I drew them out of a hat last night, and I think they're very respectable choices. So if you've not seen them, we'll keep you on your toes for that one. But get involved with the poll that I've just put in the chat, because it is quite the debate I've been having on Twitter at the moment. So feel free to vote on that one. But let's have a quick glimpse at the tyres, and it is a mixture of mediums and hards. Of course, those that have gone for harder, the likes of Supply Raptor, we assume, will have the upper hand if there's multiple safety cars in this one.
Yeah, definitely. If you took the harder option, you'll see that extra set of, I think, is it medium tyres you get to use, or hard tyres, sorry, in the race to use. You sacrifice a set of sods like you believe Supply Raptor has done to take that chance of maybe if that safety car does come, you can use that extra set of hards to your advantage. But I think everyone here will be starting on the same strategy, which is usually the hard tyres. You see here the top 12. I mean, the top 2 on hards, you got PSR Nick on mediums, and everyone behind from 4th down to 11th on hards. You got Josh Gilly and Firmsy on mediums, Haluginak on hards, ERT Griffiths, GSR James on mediums, and then everyone behind those 2 are on hard. So hard tyre seems to be the favoured race tyre. I think that was usually what's going to happen. The hard to medium is usually the strongest strategy around here since the updated tyres from F1 2021. So yeah, no, people doing medium to hard also won't be out of this fight yet. I think they'll be also towards the end of the race. It won't be as fast as the mediums, but it will definitely be a pinnacle to see who in the hard tyre guys can get a good start and see if they can get off the line. PSR Smokey, we're looking to get a good start compared to Liam Bowman and Racer. We'll try and see if we can keep ahead of his teammate. Maybe even try and jump PSR Nick if he is ended up starting on the hard tyres. Let's see though, because I don't think PSR Nick actually can change his strategy because he did have to leave. So I think Nick is stuck on the medium tyres with a high fuel as well, mind you. He doesn't get to change his fuel either. So yeah, I'm not sure how that one's going to play for him, but I'm sure he'll still be able to recover a good result for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. His race already in jeopardy, considering he is having some issues with lag. For the sake of this race, I do hope it resolves, because it's always great to see, you know, especially last week when we had Sav and Kai in the car, and Sav made that mistake and had to cut his way through the field as well, almost taking the fight to his teammate towards the end of the race. It'd be nice to see 2 PSR drivers up there in the fight as well. So let's see then. I think we're about to ready up, but we don't get the countdown anymore, and then I think we go to a formation lap, so we can just get the confirmation of the tyres and whatnot. The poll is coming to an end, so I'll end the poll and announce the results before the safety car. And the results was dinner was the winner of the poll. Nobody calls it supper. Okay, that's good to know. So I know how the polls work. That is absolutely fantastic. And we'll probably have about 5 minutes on the end of the stream, so everybody can get their vote in for the track they want to see next week. And yes, we are going to a formation lap as the lights turn to green, and we can get the tyres up on the screen for you. Nick, unable to change them, we understand, starts third on the medium tyres. Josh Gilly, Firmsy, GSR James have gone for the mediums as well. But let's talk about SLRT for a moment. Locking out the back row, not an encouraging sign for those two. Weren't able to improve on their final laps either. What do you think is going wrong for them?
No, obviously not where they want to be. Obviously champions of AEC Tier 2 and Tier 1 last season, both on the assist side. Obviously not really having the best of times. And the no assist side, only 8 points to their name. The only team scored less than them is AERT and BRT. So yeah, definitely not their greatest showing in terms of the mini-series, but I think they've still got the chance to pick up some positions here and see if they can just keep it going. I think they need to just try and avoid incidents early on, make up a couple of positions from people picking up damage or maybe in one round, and just see where they can end up in the race. Obviously we know the top 14 to end up scoring points in AEC, so all they have to do is gain, what was it, 4 positions to gain some points. Let's see if they can pull. I'm sure they can pull that off. They do have some very good drivers in that team. Simbarots, 1 SLR Nico have the ability to score some points for this team. So let's see if they can recover themselves from the back row lockout and do better in the race.
I've never done this before, but we have some breaking news, and that comes from Nexus Racing, who have announced the signing of NRX Rain. You thought it was going to be football then for a moment, didn't it? I'm sort of like that sometimes. But Rain, this time last week, was racing for NVR and scored a very good result, and I say very good result. He was up on the podium for NVR, so he's contributed well to their points. Moves on to NRX, and dare we maybe even see him next week up in the NRX roster. They've made quite a few changes already. M-Racer and Quantum, quite a wise duo, plenty of experience now. Of course, M-Racer, the crossplay Tier 2 champion over in WRR. So let's see how their F123 goes. And of course, they lost Rusty as well, as he moves on to his next step, which of course is very exciting for him, as it is for Smokey, who is lining up on pole position then in his final console race. A 27.4 in qualifying. For those of you that are keen and like to know about your qualifying times, the two McLarens at the back of the field. Sounds very strange to say after Silverstone, but all 20 cars are lined up on the grid, and here come the lights. All 5 on ahead of the drivers. And they're out, and we're underway in a very quick start there for Smokey. The lights weren't held for long, but up goes M-Racer and into 3rd place. He's overtaken Nick. Both Hasses and NRX drivers have actually, as Nick lagging down through the order and back up again. This is going to prove very difficult as he's inside one of the Hasses of NRX Quantum. Hopefully this gets resolved quickly and they aren't spitting each other off into the runoff area. As around the outside goes PSR Smokey, because Bowman has got up his inside, had the slipstream, had the run, and is now contending for the lead. M-Racer there waiting in the wings as well, and Bowman spun! Contact between P1 and P2, and the Scotsman is around, coming through turn 6.
Oh yeah, big collision there again. PSR Nick was to be taken from there. I don't know if the lag is really starting to affect him now, but that was a big collision between Smokey and Liam Bowman. And also just a bit of wheel banging was going on, but Liam Bowman is going off a lot worse and now down into P17. Femsey getting a double move done there on BRT Tomino and Halogenak. We're going wheel to wheel all the way through that first sector, and Femsey picked up the positions on the medium tyres and up into P10 for FRT. Everyone else seems to be going pretty well. AMS Anthony, what a start he's had from PA up into P5. Both NRX drivers though, what a start. M-Racer jumping and Nick off the line. Quantum was also on the outside of Nick going into turn 1. They both kept it clean and got through Nick nice and easily. Nick just got a little bit, I think he got tagged going down the hill into turn 9. It just wasn't meant to be for him, as he's now down into P4 but on the better compounded tyres. So this race is still long to go. 28 laps to go though. PSR Smokey leads from M-Racer and NRX Quantum.
Absolutely, Smokey almost put a second on M-Racer, but he started to fight back in the 2nd and 3rd sectors of this lap. One big train as down the inside, I think that's Josh Gilly, that's on ESV Bobberts. Wheel to wheel they go through turn 2 with the Mercedes on the outside. Had to take to the gravel, bounces over the inside curb at turn 3, but still he's pointing in a straight line. He's still trying to overtake the Alpine of ESV Bobberts, but nothing was doing there. Supply Raptor on the inside of SLR Nico. A good start it was for the two SLRT drivers, following the issues sustained to about 3 or 4 drivers on the opening lap. Into the pit lane comes Griffiths, and into the pit lane comes Justin for a set of medium tyres. They will be desperately hoping for a safety car around about halfway into this race, so they can decide to go back on the hards or maybe onto another set of mediums. Firmsy, who was making moves on the last lap, has had an issue coming out of turn 10, and his teammate Supply Raptor has got ahead. And, well, after a good start for Firmsy on the medium tyres as well, that's the last thing he needed.
Yeah, big tank slapper going down the hill. They got a bit too eager on the throttle from everyone else. And on the wall! That's BRT Tomino. I was just on board with Femsy there. BRT Tomino bins it in the wall, and that is our first safety car of the day. That was incredible, to be honest with you. He was just coming off the hill there. Terrible exit on the curb. His car just not liked it at all. He spun round and into the wall. I lost that front right wheel, and that's him out of the session. BRT's day goes from bad to worse. Griffiths now 18th. Tamino DNF. We've got a lot of work to do down there at Bunker Race Team. But as I said, Dale Femsey, he had a massive tank slapper going down the hill. He got triple overtaken by Halogan at Simba Rocks and Supply Raptor, his teammates. So I won't be bothered about that one. But still, as you said, though, what a start from SLR, from P19 and P20, P11 and P14. As I said, all they had to do was avoid incidents and they were going to be up in positions, and I'm right. Simba Rocks on P11, Nico on P14, double points for SLR. Long race to go though, lap 3, safety car, anything can happen.
Yeah, pit stops for Liam Bowman and GSR James. Bowman has gone on to a set of mediums, so again might be trying the two sets of medium strategy. Of course, he's lost nothing from that pit stop, and so might be able to carve his way through the field before he eventually meets the pit window with everybody else and still be within a fighting shout of a good result in this race. If you're just tuning in after lap 1, Smokey and Liam Bowman making contact at turn number 6, which saw the Alfa Romeo go into a spin, and he plunged down the order, having qualified on the front row. Tamino was who we lost. That was at the exit of turn 13, triggering our first safety car of the evening. And we form in an orderly queue. Will we see anybody else go into the pit lane? I doubt it, considering the major loss of track position, but you can never rule these things out.
No, definitely not. I don't think many people will be diving into the pits this early, though. I don't think any of the front runners will. Say 2 laps on hards, though those tyres will be still perfectly fine. PSR Nick, I would say, in P4 still on those medium tyres, so he's in a bit of a strategy dilemma whether he wants to stay out and carry on with the medium tyres. Does he pit for maybe a hard tyre, as he didn't get to choose at the start, so he still doesn't have that fresh hard tyre. I do think it's too early though for everyone currently to make a pit stop, so we'll see though if anyone does decide to make that gamble and go for that early pit stop. I don't think it'll happen as everyone just crosses the line once more, just starting off lap 4. But yeah, no, don't see anyone diving into the pit lane now. It looks like everyone's just going to be going around once more, and the safety car should hopefully be in at the end of this lap.
I'm waiting for the day somebody accidentally leaves red flags on. Just out of nowhere, we just see the red flag pop up. But that's yet to happen. I'm glad I don't have to commentate on red flags, because I think that would be a total nightmare, and I think it would end horribly 100% of the time. Again, Tamino, the only driver we've lost as of lap 4, as they make their way around turn 4, where we've seen some moments, haven't we? What the hell is happening to Nick? He rode that curb, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody use that curb before, but an interesting approach. He is all over them. He's like a skateboard.
Yeah, he's just finding the limits, Joseph. Finding the limits, I'd like to say. He's trying to do that now. He's doing his best to see how the medium tyres react to those tyres, but yeah, they're just still following on the safety car. Hopefully she'll be in this lap, but we'll see. Who's who is the big movers on this time. Let me have a look. I want to see then. Position changes. Here we go. Up 3 places, MS Anthony. Up 8 places, Simbarox 1. Up 6 places, SLR Nico. 2 places, Racer. 2 places, NRX Quantum. 4 places, Halogenac. 3 places, Josh Gilly. I've seen that double points again for TV8. Also double points for Shazoo as well. Elton down 1 on Action F1, but still Bobber's up 1 for P8. So everyone seems to be making up positions. Biggest loser has been Liam Bowman down there, P13. And everyone else has either lost 2 or 3 or just 1 position. But safety car in this lap, racing will get underway on the start of lap number 5.
Smokey might have to navigate a few safety car restarts this evening if the F123 law of averages is anything to go by, and yeah, it might be his last few safety cars on console. So we might as well make the most of it and try and perfect it. That's the most important thing, as M-Racer looking to pull alongside, of course, the Verstappen rule in the Formula 1 regulations after that safety car restart over in Abu Dhabi. And this circuit fended off Abu Dhabi to host a Formula 1 round, but it got it eventually, and we are going racing eventually here in Sakir, and Anthony is all over the road as we restart this race, and in the slipstream is NRX Quantum. He's going for a move on his teammate. He's looking to back out, but he's got to be conscious of Nick, who's down the inside into the first corner. Michael Schumacher, the only named corner on the circuit, and up he goes into P3, so on his relatively fresh set of mediums, and it's heartbreak for Anthony, who's had a moment coming through turn 1, and his Aston Martin plunging down the order. Liam Bowman up into 14th place now and sees the Aston Martin in front of him. Both of them had superb starts and now sharing the same bit of racetrack.
Yeah, what a move that was. A PSR Nick getting up the inside of them racer. Now we're back to a 1-2, and PSR Liam Bowman down the inside. Is he knocked again? As Liam Bowman went far too deep in the corner there. He's hit the side of AMS Anthony. He's still in P14, but inside the ghost of his SLR Nico. That was massive collision there between Anthony Raptor and Liam Bowman. Anthony's back off the track again. Liam Bowman seems to be getting through, and Anthony now he comes back on the track in P15. But that was, yeah, a massive collision. But Liam Bowman now back up the inside of Supply Raptor. That'll be another position for the Alfa Romeo. Was looking to regain where he was on that racetrack. He was P2 with Smokey. He actually was P1 for a bit, but then obviously that collision with him and Smokey has cost him dearly for those big point finishes. NRX Quantum losing out of position to Nick, but still Nick. What a restart that was by him, up 2 places at the start. He's hit him! Quantum Racer has run into PSR Nick at the back. NRX Quantum gets through, but he might have some damage.
Yeah, that was very unprecedented. I don't know if that was lag inflicted or he was just far too late on the brakes there, but his teammate eventually hit the slow Alpha Tauri, and into the first corner they go. Axe, a bit of contact there with M Racer as he tries to go around the outside at turn 2 and on the inside into turn 3. He's lost out there as Quantum back in the slipstream of Nick around the outside of PSR Nick, and again a bit of contact on the apex at turn 4. Nick squeezing Quantum to the exit curb. All of this is allowing Smokey to get away and dominate his final race on console, but a big queue behind though after that contact at turn 14.
Yeah, no, the DRS trainers started to form now. Firms up the inside of Haloginaki to get a good exit compared to the man on the hard, but Haloginaki, so Liam Bowman's away running into both of them. What a move that was. He got a nice exit on the corner. Haloginaki is drifting. Liam Bowman drifts as well, but what a manoeuvre that was. But Liam Bowman, I didn't even realise they were 3 wide all the way through. Turn 8 there, I've seen Haloginaki and Firmsy were there, but it looks like Anthony and what's happened to Firmsy there, I've missed that. Completely. Bertie Griffiths now gets through on Firms. He's having a tough time out there on those medium tyres. What a move by Liam Bowman up in the P10. He's continuing to make up positions on those medium tyres.
Well, the first 2 races were encouraging, as I said earlier, but there was always bound to be a point where things just started to get a bit pear-shaped, and that is what happened on lap 6 of 29 of this Bahrain Grand Prix, crossing the line now to start lap 7 with an advantage that Smokey has of 2.7 seconds. And here comes Quantum to the right hand side. No DRS yet enabled, but he gets the job done with slipstream and a full battery usage down to 2% by the time he hits the brakes for turn 1. No other moves at the moment. Except for Supply Raptor, who's tussling with FRT Justin at the moment for EXR. Don't be deceived by the name, as through the middle, Griffiths having a little look as Halo Gynac has got down the inside at turn 4. Griffiths saying thank you very much. I'll take the inside too, but he's covered off by the Mercedes, and that was always going to end in tears. Playing clumsy by all 3 of them, all just looking to... I can't even explain that. But again, more contact into turn 6. Halo off the track, trying to recover, doing so with a whole load of gravel on his tyres.
Yeah, not a good incident that was. I've got to say, Joseph, a man on a mission. Liam Bowman, he's back up again through on Josh Gilly. Had a lovely side through. There's M Racer. He's actually made a mistake in the corner. M Racer's made a mistake. I don't know if Nick is lagging or if M Racer made a mistake. I don't know what's going on, but Nick has been overtaken again by M Racer. I'm not sure what happened there between those two. But yeah, Liam Bowman got through on Josh Gilly into turn 8 on the inside. Josh Gilly with enough space on the inside to make that manoeuvre, and he is really on a charge, trying to make his way back through the field and catch up to his teammate and challenge again for that top spot. Obviously, he did make that pit stop, so he's on 4 lap fresh. Mediums are else on 6 lap hard, so he will be able to make another pit stop though when it comes to that pit stop stage. Once again, he's got DRS down the straight. He's trying to catch up to ESV Bobbert, who's got his teammate up ahead of him.
Yeah, and he's slipstreaming nicely and has more ERS to play with, so the Shizou drivers can be a little bit smart here and maybe not make it too easy for Liam Bowman. As well, it's the Shizou filling. The Shizou with the filling and an NVR sandwich as well. I say that. Here comes Axe F1 down the inside of PSR Nick as his medium's just starting to drop off now. So we've lost Anthony in the pit lane. He had such a good start to this race, but becomes our 2nd retirement in 8 laps. SLR Nico, as he had a moment as well, coming around turn 4. He's dropped to 17th, which is relatively last of all of these drivers, as Liam Bowman has got down the inside at turn number 6. We'll turn it into the outside for turn 7. Sorry, that was turn 8 and into turn 9 and turn 10. Now Liam Bowman is up into P7 and has cleared one of the 2 Shizou drivers.
That's 4 overtakes at the same corner every single time with Liam Bowman. A double overtake on Haloginak and Fermsey. A low overtake on Josh Gilly, and now ESV Boberts was his next target. Now up next is Shizou Elton for P6. Elton's got a mistake in the corner. Liam Bowman off at the inside again on Shizou Elton. He's going for P6 in the race. He's got it now. This man is an absolute mission to get back to that P2 spot. He's already up into P6 from where was P14 on that restart. What a lap he is having so far. That's 2 overtakes in this lap. Through on both Shizou drivers. Right, was P8 and a big close on the head. What's happened there was like Axel onto the snap out of that last corner. PSR Nick gets back through and the NRX Quantum is also flashed with the right and trying to get the inside line. PSR Nick is lagging a lot, it looks like, as he was ghosting his Axel Fun. It's a rounding outside.
Oh, that's
my God, what's going on? What is going on? PSR
Oh
Nick,
no!
What is going on? Come on, turn right and Nick.
We
Nick
can't show that.
Really, really badly. But Liam Bowen still sits in P6, Nick P4 and Axel Fun now on the podium.
Goodness me, we cannot show that in the Oh no! Oh no! That's an AlphaTauri in the wall, and it is PSR Nick who has hit the Armco barrier and, well, is still going here as a bit of end plate damage, but that looks like really his race coming to an end. That's going to be difficult to recover from that one, especially with his lack. I say horrible things on the AEC stream. It's my time of the week. Wednesday night, I say stupid things, and that was just the latest. Liam Bowman and AXF1 invert positions, and is it game on here? Liam Bowman back in a podium position. 1.3 seconds off the back of M-Racer. He is giving it absolutely everything while he still can on a set of medium tyres that should comfortably go to the pit window.
Trying to assert yourself as a pad go, Joseph. These are things that you've got to do to get that title from a certain few drivers. He's already passed the NRX Quantum, a fellow pad driver. He's got M-Racer up next. But you got to say though, 3.8 seconds up the road is PSR Smokey, who's got 44% of battery. Sitting nicely, nothing really bothering him. He's just going to enjoy this last race on console, see where it takes him. He's got Axel on behind him as well for a bit of coverage. So, game on, I would say so, but for the win, maybe not. Smokey, if he does make that mistake, it could be game on by then. But right now, I do feel like Liam Bowman is trying to chase down that P2 on M-Racer and get that place back before he tries to eye up Smokey for the next one.
Yeah, once again, I'd just like to apologise to the Twitch terms of service. Somebody from Twitch watches. There's a man on every stream. Did you know that? They have a whole room of employees, and each one of them is watching about 4 different streams at the same time, making sure everybody is being nice and good. So I apologise for that one. Anyway, Josh Gilly, he's been in the wars with ESV Bobbert, mediums versus hard tyres. He's got a decent exit coming out of turn 10. But nothing doing going into turn 11, just starting to break away from Symbol Rocks 1, who is doing everything he can to hold on to the DRS range. And, well, he's doing a good job, actually. Hard tyres, P9 now in this race. The only way is up, especially when you qualify on the back row of the grid. And SLRT just about proving that at the moment.
Yeah, doing their best to try and keep this improvement going. Obviously, Simple also try and get past Josh Gilly probably sooner rather than later. Josh Gilly will be looking to make a pit stop very, very soon on those medium tyres, I would suspect. So those are the tyres he's been on since the start. The 9-lap medium tyres, we do know that the tyres tend to drop off a lot quicker this game than they did last game. Still, though, Liam Bowman on 8-lap mediums seems to have some good pace about him. We've already seen him make all those countless overtakes in this race. He's still trying to fight his way back into the DRS of M-Racer 9. He's got NRX Quantum behind XF1, just out of the DRS with nothing left in the battery pack to try and save him. He's also got Shizou Elton behind him with NRX Quantum. He's got to make sure he doesn't lose that position before he tries to chase down XF1 for P4. What a result this will be though for Novice Racing, from Liam Bowman lap 1 collision to P3 and P4 with Axe and Liam Bowman. Is going to be a good finish for them if they can keep this up.
Yeah, 19 points in the first round, 21 in the second round, and as it stands, they will be scoring 39. So they've almost doubled their points tally here tonight. as it stands. Obviously a long way to go in this one. Let's hope they can do that, because it will make for a very interesting fight for P2, possibly P1 in the championship for the 3 more rounds that we will have in this mini-series. Of course, Smokey will not take any further part after this one, so it is down to the remaining and very talented PSR roster to go on and try and secure the mini-series. So we'll see how that plays out when we get to it. FRT Justin senses an opportunity here, because Simba Rocks 1 has lost DRS range to Josh Gilly. It was only a matter of time, really. He was hanging on by a thread. Has lost a couple more tenths now coming out of the final corner. So opportunity presenting itself for FRT Justin, who's pulling to the right-hand side for the EXR team. And he's up into P9, but has he done enough to get within 1 second of Josh Gilly? No, he hasn't, and so he might still be vulnerable going up to turn 4.
Yeah, those medium tyres will not be in a nice window as of right now. That 10-lap medium tyre for FRT Jills and Simba Rocks. Those hard tyres won't be in a nice one either, but they'll be in a little bit better than the mediums are, so he'll try his best to stick him in. But I've got to say though, Liam Bowman, as we said, the tyre drop off was big. They don't really seem to drop off for him. I see he's currently 4.5 tenths back on M Racer, who's on the hard tyres, a bit older than Liam Bowman's, but he will try and make his best chance and pick his chance to get P2 back, to try and chase down PSR Smokey for that race win. We know Liam Bowman is very, very quick around here in quali and in the race. He's really shown why he is one of the best drivers at Bahrain on Xbox. Completely active one as well, trying to see if he can gain some positions. He's actually lost DRS now to Liam Bowman. That could leave him vulnerable to an attack soon from NRX Quantum if he's not careful with that. I think Bowman will try his best to try and keep Axe in the DRS of himself, to see if he can keep Axe on P4 and keep Quantum behind for P5. Also, Elton has also dropped at the DRS of Quantum, so it's not like Quantum will be getting attacked from behind either, so it's really going to be any man's game for this P4 spot. Once they all come onto the straight, Axe F1 will they get DRS. Before he comes onto the straight, he will not get DRS. Will this be an attack from Quantum? Let's find out as we're about to start off lap 13.
Absolutely. Whilst the precision drive technology has helped Liam Bowman's pad challenge, there is a precision driver operating the joysticks, and Liam Bowman is up into P2 in this race. Yes, still 4.7 seconds away from Smokey, but his recovery from 16th to P2 in the space of around 10 laps has been absolutely phenomenal. And here comes NRX Quantum on Axe F1. That's a move for P4. And once again, we have the 2 drivers of NRX in between the 2 NVR drivers, which again makes for a real strategic battle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also, MVR versus NRS versus Shizou should be asked as well. Yep. Do not count Shizou out with that battle just yet. They are only 1.3 seconds off of Axe F1, who's currently sits in P5, and also got M Racer and Quanta now, who can try and work together, see if they can get past the struggling Liam Bowman, whose tyres will probably start to drop off by around about now. Lap 13 and 29, 16 laps to go. We should see some pit stops coming for the medium runners very, very soon, I would suspect, as you'll see Josh Gilly NPA on the 12-lap medium tyres. Also got Justin and Griffiths on 11-lap medium tyres as well. So it really is any man's game when it comes to that strategy. Is anyone going to go for an undercut? Is it going to be an overcut? What will people decide on as Liam Bowman runs out that final corner? Will there be a pit stop for him? I don't think it will be as of right now. Will Josh Gilly dive into the pit lane now? 14 bottles. So there's going to be a pit stop, and this will be for Shizou Elton on the hard tyre, not the medium for Elton, but he's in early. He thinks he's going for an undercut now. See if he can maybe get ahead of Axe F1 in this circumstance, and see if he can try and make some positions for Shizou.
Yeah, let's see. No front wing change, so an undercut attempt it most certainly is, and back out into the pit lane he comes. He'll rejoin the race in clean air, which is of course important for an undercut attempt. He was behind Bobberts of the 2 Shizou drivers as well, so he'll be conscious of that. And when Bobberts rejoins the circuit, he might well be behind his teammate, but his teammate on a warm set of medium tyres might be able to get amongst this battle between Liam Bowman, M Racer, NRX Quantum and Axe F1, all for P2 in this race at the moment. And Bowman, yes, he'll have to pit again, but it really shouldn't make a difference because everyone else still has to. He's done the work to recover the track position, and now he is in a net P2 in this race. So his hard work has been stellar so far. The lap 1 incident might well be under review, but I don't think we've had any stewards' inquiries throughout the first 2 rounds. Yes, that might change tonight because, of course, there is cause for concern. It's up to team owners or whatever to do what is necessary, they feel, to just report any issues. Liam Bowman a little bit wide coming out of the final corner. Is anybody going to respond? And again, it's the second driver in the team, or the driver running second in both cases for NRX and NVR. Quantum and Axe responding, as is Bobberts. Josh Gilly pulling into the pit lane as well. Let's see where Shazoo Ilton comes out at all of this.
Yeah, he's just burned a lot of VRS down that straight, trying his best to see if he can get any jumps on him. I don't think he actually will. I think he might end up losing out very, very slightly down and down this straight. They all come out the pits now. It's the Haas, that's the Mercedes, that's the Alfa Romeo. They all come out the pits now. He actually might have jumped his teammate again. He's not jumped XF1 though, but he is on the cold tyres ahead of XF1 as Shazoo Ilton comes into turn 1, still chasing down XF1. He's still in the DRS range of the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't get it on this lap, but we'll get it on the next. So XF1's got a full lap now, try and warm up the tyres and see if he can catch back up to NRX Quantum and try and get a move done for him, which will try and be for P4 on trial. Will still be a very good result for Novice Racing. Obviously Liam Bowman still in P2, 4.5 times back. Those M Racer who might be thinking, you know what, I think I might need a pit stop soon as well, from those hards to the medium tyres, just like his teammate has done, but he doesn't want to get jumped by anyone behind him as well.
Yeah, so a swap there at Shazoo. Will there be any other inter-team swaps? M Racer and Quantum were running nose to tail. Quantum pitting first. So, let's see. It is likely that both drivers come into the pits on this lap. Let's see the status of Smokey then, who's round to the final corner. He can carry on going. He is not vulnerable in the slightest and can maybe just gamble on the safety car to really secure his position, give him a free pit stop and not have to worry about anything. Liam Bowman does come into the pit lane then. The second NVR driver making his second pit stop of the race then. He's already pit once onto fresh mediums. That's another fresh set available to him from picking the balanced option before you come into the lobby. Axe F1 though, a huge penalty in this race. A 3-second time penalty. And I think he might have lost DRS to the car in front. NRX Quantum as well. As out of the pits comes Liam Bowman. That's a Ferrari of GSR Wheeze looking to go around the outside. Wasn't quite going to come off as Liam Bowman had the inside. Secures the track position. Still behind Quantum. And, because M Racer hasn't pit yet. Apologies.
Yeah, M Racer still looking to get that pit stop. I'm sure it should be this lap now. Surely it is time for M Racer to call it into the pits. PSR Smokey really has got the pick of the green here to where he wants to make that pit. I'm sure he might just pit this lap as well, along with M Racer, who should be in this lap for this time. You see a couple of people ahead not pit just yet. Nico Griffiths, M Racer, and Smokey, the only people in this race who are yet to pit, along with GSR Wheeze in P10. But Liam Bowman, though, still burning his ERS all the way through this lap. So let's see if he can gain a little bit on NRX Quantum. We'll say Quantum with that 1 lap older medium tyre compared to Liam Bowman's brand new fresh set. He's got XF1 behind, obviously, with that penalty now, though, which will lose him out to Elton Bobbers and I believe to Josh Gilly, just to Josh Gilly. If Josh Gilly can catch up a little bit on those fresh hard tyres, it should be in the right range to pick up another position for Team Bala, who also have Halogi Knack down in P18, who's not had the greatest of days for him. There you go now. M Racer is also now into the pit lane. Will Quantum be ahead? Will Liam Bowman now be well ahead of M Racer as they all come out the pits now? Quantum making his way out the M Racer making his way out the pits now. He's been well jumped by Quantum, well jumped by Bowman, well jumped by Active1 as well. M Racer has lost a lot of position for staying out that little bit too long.
Oh, down the inside, M Racer was as he re-emerged from the pit lane. We almost had a Maldonado and Gutierrez moment from 2014 there, where the Sauber went flying, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong on the two drivers, but a very prevalent memory here from Bahrain. Of course, Sainz and Stroll, I believe, in 2017. Oh, I'm just recalling those from the top of my head. But yeah, we've seen pit lane incidents down there as drivers like to get aggressive into the first corner, as you can do as you rejoin on the inside of the circuit. However, Bobberts at the tail of this train wasn't able to get ahead of M Racer, and he might have lost the opportunity to do so, as M Racer's tyres will be right up to temperature now. He's in between the two Shazoo drivers, so they can play a bit of games between them. M Racer, though, with a 3-lap fresher tyres in comparison to Shazoo Ilton, as we have our race leader Smokey making his one and only pit stop, surely for medium tyres, but I didn't rule out the softs here, but no, it will be a set of medium tyres. He should come out comfortably ahead of this pack. Bit of a delay, think that's lag, and yeah, he's on the pit exit already and should still have... I don't think this will be a comfortable lead at all, because gaining very quickly now, NRX Quantum and Liam Bowman. I'll tell you what, Smokey has left that late, but I believe with those fresher tyres he should be able to pull away again. But this race isn't entirely over yet.
No, absolutely not. But see, 8/10 is all the gap is now between Quantum and Smokey. Originally it was about 5-6 seconds of a gap, now only 8/10. The win is still not decided just yet. Obviously, Smokey does have 3 lap fresher tyres than NRX Quantum, 2 lap fresher than Liam Bowman. So it really is now back to game on, really. If Smokey cannot gain back that gap to Quantum and Bowman behind, obviously, actually run a little bit further behind now in that train. I'm kind of thinking maybe actually one might have picked up some damage from somewhere. I'm not sure where, though. I don't know what's happened to him, though, as he dropped back almost 2 seconds on his teammate M Racer, but he's looking to try and get past Axel Fun very, very fast, as he doesn't want to lose out time on his own. Also, the 2 Shazoo guys might try and eye up that move as well, as they're both now looking to get some positions. Well, so Elton tried that undercut, it didn't really work out for him. He's still behind Axe and also now M Racer. M Racer losing a lot of positions from P2, but as you see at the front though, NRX Quantum is gaining on PSR Smokey. He's not gained enough on this lap to keep PSR Smokey, to keep Quantum, sorry, out with the DRS. It's going to be any man's game to jump on the straight starting off lap 19.
Well, here we go then, and just before... Oh, no, never mind, Quantum's wide, and Liam Bowman had to take evasive action, and that is a free position, and that is a shot at the net race lead for Liam Bowman. Just like that, NRX Quantum, one mistake was all it took, and Liam Bowman didn't have to worry about Quantum being towed along, because it's him that's being towed along, and now has a good shot at overtaking Smokey if he can't pull away here. Have PSR made a mistake in denying Smokey his final win in his final race on console? Let's see. 10.5 laps to go then, and I was going to mention BRT Griffiths, who has made a pit stop in this race. He did on well, I think he did on the first lap, because he was down the order definitely. Weezer's retired in the pit lane. Going from experience last night, it's not impossible that that can't cause a safety car. So it looks like we're clear, luckily, for the sake of a natural conclusion to this race. But Griffiths, leading the race then, has had a couple of seconds knocked out of his lead on this lap. BRT finished 3rd in the Tier S standings last season, got multiple second places, even led laps. Now they're able to do it again and see where this long stint on the mediums maybe takes them.
Yeah, they will not be far away though from puncture territory coming up in a few laps time. As you see though, he's already dropped 2 seconds to Smokey and Bowman on this lap. They are flying, both those drivers out in front, doing their best to see just how far they can push each other to the limit. Bowman, all he has to do is try to stick in the DRS of PSR Smokey. BRT Griffiths finally into the pit lane. Unfortunately for him, that lead has slowly fell away. Liam Bowman closing on PSR Smokey. Not closing enough though, as they all fly down the straight into turn 1. But it looks like Smokey though is starting to pick up that pace again, as he's almost gapped Liam Bowman towards the back end of that lap. Has been forcing Liam Bowman to burn more ERS during the lap to try and keep him in that DRS of PSR Smokey. But NRX Quantum though can try and pick his opportunity and steal that P2 spot from Liam Bowman as well. So it really is still any man's game for the podium places. Obviously those 3 out in front have broken away a little bit from Racer, Axe and Elton and Bobbert. So I think the Racer P4 is also very interesting as well. Do not count any of those drivers out of that race. The Axe F1 still got that penalty to play to. He will be dropping back to about P7 right now once they get applied. But still at the front though, it's still Smokey leading the way from Bowman and Quantum closing up as well.
I feel like PSGL has finished, because that's where we start to see the viewers increase. And with that, good evening to all 57 of you that have put on the AEC live stream. It's round 3 of 6 of the mini-series, and you're watching a battle for the lead between PSR Smokey, NVR Bowman and NRX Quantum. Just for the teams there for you. 62 now as we approach the 73 that we had last week. Absolutely incredible to see all of you. 9/10 still the gap, so Liam Bowman will have another helping of DRS coming down the start-finish straight, and I don't think there'll be too much reprieve from the pressure It's down into the first corner. They go. Closing into about half a second. The 3 DRS zones certainly not playing into Smokey's hands. He is under constant pressure, as I say, with about 8.5 laps to go left in this race. Who is going to take the honours?
Yeah, let's see who can pull it off. And also Liam Bowman with that 2 laps less tyre. 2 laps more tyre, sorry, to his car, 2 less for PSR Smokey out in front. Smokey with a bit more battery to his name as well. Quantum now dropped well at the DRS of these two in front. These two might have just really pulled away now. Quantum maybe with a bit of a mistake, but Elton as well looking to be trying to stick in the DRS of Axel Fun. Seems to be struggling with that as he's got Bobbers behind him. Seems to be holding him up a little bit as well as they'll come down the hill. It looks like Bobbers will be trying to look to get past his teammate on this straight. There's going to be a bit of a collision at the back, and it's Fermsey spun round for Future Racing Team from P3 in the standings. It looks like that might not be there for very much longer. They drop down now out of the points for Fermsey down in P15. He's got to try and overtake GSR James for GSR looking for their first points of the AEC mini series. But out in front though it's still Liam Bowman chasing down PSR Smokey. He's back in the DRS again though of PSR Smokey. This time 2/10 is only 2/10 was clear of 1 second, but Smokey getting a much better exit out of the last corner. He's got DRS all the way down the straight. He goes. Can he make the overtake sooner rather than later? Seven laps to go. Where will he put him?
Yeah, Smokey's 2-lap tyre advantage may be coming into it here, or indeed his abnormal sheer pace. Is one way to put it. He's a talent, isn't he? And Bowman is doing such a good job to stick with him too, so let's not take that away from him. Is there going to be a change down at Shizou as Ilton has been staring at the rear wing of his fellow Alpine? Those rear wings do like to shake about, don't they? But yeah, progress just starting to halt for the Shizou team. Ilton made the earliest pit stop out of all of these drivers in the top 7. And yeah, now progress obviously just starting to halt. Griffiths went onto the soft tyres, by the way. He's up now into P10. He's just cleared Supply Raptor. And 8.3 seconds the gap to P9. But as it stands, it's still a very nice point. So 6 points for BRT, considering they've only scored 5 so far this season. They'll welcome this very much.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be taking that 6 points with a smile on their face, definitely. And Racer closing up to his teammate behind. I'm sure this will be an overtake for that final podium position between those two. I'm sure Quantum won't be too bothered giving that position away to his teammates. Don't want to hold him up too often as they are about to jump onto the straight. Quantum flashing away. M Racer looking to get by him, hopefully throughout this last corner. Quantum will surely not fight him too hard as he's going to have DRS all the way down the straight. Quantum will be letting him by as they all fly down here. Axel Fun doing his best to stick in with these two in front, see if he can gain any more than he can, see if he can gain any more time to the cars behind and not drop back to P7. He's definitely guaranteed to drop back to P6, but if he keeps capping on Robertson now, might not be dropping back to P6 if he can keep up the pace he's at as of right now. But Liam Bowman at the front though has dropped out of the DRS of PSR Smokey. That tyre degradation is really starting to show between these two. The 5 laps, the 7 lap medium tyres is showing the difference as Smokey is starting to pull that gap, and it probably will be getting bigger and bigger towards the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And XF1 wants to get out of 3 seconds of Bobberts as well. Never mind. Have a look at the Hasses in front of him. That'll be an interesting conclusion there as PSR Nick has come into the pit lane to retire. Did he take the fastest lap at any point? That's what I want to know. Yes, he did. 29.994. Thought I saw that pop up on the screen. And it did. Kiwi saying big things are coming on Monday for BRT. I will keep a lookout for that one. BRT, of course, the Bunga Racing team. Everybody knows them by now. Such is the good work that they have done with BBC, the tournament league thing. Oh God, I'm not going to go too in depth because I'll be honest, I've never watched a Bunga race in my life. Maybe I should start, and I shall start now that I've said that. I feel very bad for outing myself as a non-Bunga viewer.
I believe you're referring to the Bunga series show. So if you're talking
is that the one?
That is
I
the
thought
one
it was
on
the
Monday,
BBC.
Yes.
Oh.
That's a leak. That is a leak.
Right. Okay.
I'll just keep you up to date, Joe. So
I'll
need to keep you more updated on this stuff.
I'm busy. I've got championship football to watch, Ross. You know, it's Tuesday, Saturday. You know, that sort of thing. It gets quite busy.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Hard schedule. Jesse Wilton, right on the back of his teammate, who's sliding all over the place, coming through this end of sector 1 now. Still at the front, Liam Bowman has dropped 2.6 seconds now to PSR Smokey. It looks like this race at the front is truly finished for these two. It looks like Smokey's tyres are just that much better and that much fresher compared to Liam Bowman's. 2.6 seconds he's gapped on the M Racer, 3.5 seconds back. Looks like this podium place could still be decided though between Quad and M Racer. Seems that there's a move at the back between Raptor and Nico. Nico's got through on a supply Raptor. Simba Rock's wanting to get through as well. You have a bit of a team orders here between these two. Nico holding up Raptor for Simba Rock, so they can gain some more points for SLR. Sensor only's got 8 points to their name. The only team scored less is BRT and AERT, and now also GSR, who are scoring their first point of the day with GSR James and P14. If Fermsey doesn't catch up to him in time, also BRT Griffiths as well needs to be catching up to FRT Justin. Can he maybe get a couple more points for BRT on the road? Supply Raptor very close to still to the back of SLR Nico, but no movement going on between these three in the midfield, and it looks like this will go on for another lap.
Yeah, Griffiths is actually half the gap since we last checked in with him, so he's doing a really good job, but how much longer can he sustain that pace for? Let's see then, as we've got 5 laps to go. Smokey has crossed the line, everyone else has crossed the line, and a bit of a mistake coming out the final corner for Nico. These two were rubbing wheels coming through turn 6, which is where the ooh came from, because it was a very similar sort of thing to the incident that happened on lap 1 between PSR Smokey and Liam Bowman. Bowman dropped down to P6, recovered to P2, pit again along with the rest of the field, and now is holding his own. And it looks like his challenge for the lead is started to wane away, but yeah, what a job he has done in this race. Yeah, you can't take that away from Drive of the Day suggestions in the Twitch chat. Let's keep that nice and interactive. It's not very often we do Driver of the Day anymore, but considering there's 5 laps left, we might as well discuss it.
Yeah, definitely. I think personally for me, I've got to go Liam Bowman. I think that fight back from the back of the grid, from being spun round at the start, has been tremendous. Watching him make all those overtakes was incredible. So I think I've got to go to Liam Bowman personally. I think there's a couple of people that can be thrown in there as well. PSR Smokey just for a pure dominant drive in the end. But I think both the SLR guys can be put in there for getting double points for them. And also FRT Justin as well for EXR. Getting a few points for them. Also AMS Anthony was done early on, and then FRT Justin's came in and he's claimed a few points for them, so I think he can be put in that hat as well. But I'll let you decide who you think is the best one, Joseph.
Yeah, I'd have to go Bowman, because overtaking is a big win for me. I love seeing overtakes, and he has executed so many of them, often at turn 10 as well, which is not an easy place to get it done, especially as you are prone to rear locking and silly little errors like that. He's managed to avoid all of them as well. I won't pass any judgment on the lap 1 collision. It looked like just one of those racing incidents. Maybe Bowman just washed out slightly wide on the slightly less grippy part of the track. You know, we won't judge that too much, and that is of course down to the two drivers whether they want to resume that conversation. Otherwise, that was you know, it's not fair to criticise either of them. We've got a bit of a stalemate. I don't think Quantum is too interested in passing M-Racer. They've built up a 3-second gap to Axe, and we were asked about the ERS situation, and it is very similar indeed between Axe F1 and ESV Bobbitt's. The gap 2.5 seconds now. He needs to get that up to 3 to secure P5 in this race. 2.5 for NVR, not too shabby. 3.4 for NRX, not too shabby. Both still very much in the fight for the upper positions in the mini-series. We've got 3 laps to go in this race. Stay tuned. In about 5 minutes' time, we'll have the track vote coming up for round number 4. And if it's successful, you know what? We'll do it again next week.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to jump NRX to about P3 or even P2 in the championship. I'm not sure if it's going to be that big of a gap. I'm not sure how much TV8 are scoring today. Josh Gillies the only man scoring points for Team Valor today, so NRX will be jumping up big points, and so will MVR with Liam Bowman in P2 and XF1 in P5. So good points haul for both those teams in the mini-series, keeping their hopes alive. Also, PSR Smokey only scoring 25 points for his team is the best he could do. PSR Nick, those internet problems sadly costing him dearly. We did see that big moment, I guess you could say, with this lag during the race. He was on top of one of the Hasses at one point, but we will move on from that. Terms of service at the switch is not our fan today, so let's see. As SLR Nico has put Raptor very far wide. As Raptor picked him a little bit of the marbles on his tyres there, but Nico is still up the inside. As they go to battle, wheel to wheel again. Raptor picks his moment last time. He's going to make it up. We go to the outside line. Can Raptor get it finished? Nico defends the inside line. Pushes him wide again. Simbarox 1 weeks up the inside now. He's helping out his teammate. Once again, but Supply Raptors having absolutely none of it. He's back up the inside on SLR Nico. Nico's still holding around the outside. Simbarox as well. Trying to enter himself into the battle. Nico rides at the curb. Raptor gets a much better exit though. He's got the DRS as well to help him out for P11. Raptor's going to fly by, I hope, on the straight. Nico not running the DRS. Supply Raptor back up into P11. Nico backs out in P12.
Get the seal spam in the live chat. Brilliant racing between Supply Raptor and the two SLR cars here. The two McLarens as they bunch up behind him going into turn 13 as we're on the penultimate lap now of the race. Smokey's gap back to 5 seconds, about where he was before the pit stop phases started to begin. Shazoo still nose to tail. Ilton now ahead of Bobberts. Think I missed that one, but he's now starting to close in using whatever he's got left in those oldest hard tyres out of anybody in the field at the moment. 2.3 now the gap as well. Axe has got to do everything in his power to respond, because as it stands he's losing both positions to the Shazoo drivers, and they can keep DRSing each other along, swapping places and gaining back as much time as they need to in order to secure P5 and P6.
Yeah, see them all fighting away. Axe F1 dropped a bit of time to Shazoo Elton now. He's only got 1.5 laps to go. There's Elton to try and keep in that 8/10 gap of Axe ahead of him. We'll see Axe is gapped. He's gapped Bobberts enough, I believe. I don't think actually is enough yet, but I think Bobberts is really pushing now, along with Elton and getting dragged along with the DRS to keep in that gap to give Shazoo a 5-6 finish here, which will be a fantastic finish for them. A good points haul in the end for Shazoo, who do look like they need the points this season. BRT Griffin, so Joseph, you've not really checked up on him. He's 7/10 off of Josh Gilly for P9. Obviously, Josh Gilly's got that penalty, so no matter what, even if he doesn't make the overtake or not, BRT Griffiths will jump up into P9 in the end. That's a great result for BRT, who are in need of points in this mini series championship. M Racer has let his teammate through on the inside to give Quantum that P3, but I believe he might come back at him to give a little bit of a friendly battle between those two for this final podium place. Let's see how that plays out in the end. Bobber so is closing up as well to his teammate, still trying to keep in that DRS gap to keep in that 3-second gap. Griffiths is sent up the inside, he's slid all the way through the corner. Josh Gilly's got the outside line, it's switches to the inside line though, as they still keep on going. Griffiths on the outside, Josh Gilly on the inside, he's burning everything he's got, but Griffiths with pure power and the better rubber, he gets back through for P9 in this race.
Up through turn 4 then for the final time, and it was very opportunistic from BRT Griffiths. I don't think Josh Gilly was quite expecting it, but there's an opportunity for him to re-overtake on track, but otherwise that is pretty much secure based on the penalty situation. Meanwhile for P5, Axe F1 2.3 seconds now the gap, and it's looking unlikely that Axe holds on to this P5 here, but we'll check in with Smokey because he's in the final sector of his of the race now. And in the final sector of his console career on F1 23, as he rounds the final corner now, he took pole, he's led almost every lap in the race, weaves across the line to take his final console victory. PSR Smokey wins in Bahrain, and an almost photo finish across the line between the two NRX drivers who have epitomised teamwork. Axe F1 5th on track, but likewise Shazoo have done a brilliant job as a team to secure 5th and 6th here tonight, separated by 2/10 in both teams. FRT Justin of EXL will cross the line and finish 8th. A brilliant move by Griffiths, who led the race for a couple of laps in P9. Josh Gilly 10th. And we await the battling Simbarox 1, Thermsy, Nico, Supply, Raptor. I think there's been a little altercation between Nico and Raptor. Half a tenth, it wasn't much. I enjoyed that. One safety car. It calmed down. I'll say it calmed down, and we got a great race.
Yeah, definitely. What a race it was in the end. Thank everyone for tuning in, all 51 of you who tuned in to this week's race. That was a fantastic viewership once again, but a very, very good job in Well done to Smokey again for that final console victory. One final race, one more win to his collection. Now moves over to PC, where we all wish him all the best. I'm sure he'll carry over that momentum he just took from today's race. That final podium place going to NRX Quantum in the end, and Liam Bowman with a very, very, very good fight back in the end for P2.
I'm setting up the vote now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you 3 minutes to decide your round 4 track, starting now. Go. 3 minutes.
Oh, go!
Go! Go! Go! Let's see what
happened?
the guys want.
Spain has gone for Spain's a big one too. 3 for Spain!
For round 4.
I'm a lot over. We're getting
Don't type!
somewhere.
Vote in the poll. Typing is not an extra vote. So
Yeah, I know.
put that out there. But yeah, confirmation of the results. I've got really dodgy audio. I don't know what goes on with the audio towards the end of the race. We've got quite a reverbed, slowed down F1 theme at the moment. But these are the final results. Nobody backed out at the end, so we don't have to sift through and clarify who is where. The pole sitter wins. P2 finishes P2. And, well, 8 wins from pole here in Bahrain. Historically, the lowest ever winning position was P5, and that was Sergio Perez in 2020 in Sakir. So it was always likely, statistically, that they were going to go on and do well on the front row. But the vote is still going on. We've got about 90 seconds remaining.
7-7. Oh, Brazil takes the lead in 8. Brazil,
get all your mates in.
The outside on Spain. What's going to happen with this one? Spain had an early lead with 4-0, Joseph. It was a 4-0. Oh, Spain's back in with 8-8. It's going to be Brazil or Spain. It's got to be. Japan and Australia are not light. They are done. Oh, Spain took a massive lead. But in comes Brazil again. Oh my, this is great. It's like end-to-end football. Brazil 9, Spain 11. Is this could actually go either way? Oh, it's Brazil 10. What's it going to end up? This actually could be anything here. Let's see, when's it end, Joseph? What we calling this?
About a minute. About a minute it ends. It's ticking down. Let's, I'm going to take a look at the results for myself. I say results, it's not concluded yet. That would not be a fair thing to do, but I'm watching it live now. It is neck and neck, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Brazil.
Take your pick.
Spain. It looks like Spain is going to be it. I did not, to be honest, out of all the tries, I did not think that Spain was going to be the one. I thought everyone would have picked up Brazil or Australia. But you know what? Fair enough. Oh, wait a minute. They're not done yet. Brazil comes in. Spain gets another though. I think it may be a Spain. It's looking like it's going to be a Spain.
I'll tell you how this came about. So last night, I know I've mentioned it once already, but I drew 5 tracks out of the ones that we've not done yet. These are the 5 I got. I asked, is everybody happy? Everybody was happy, so this is the vote. And with about 10 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, the round 4 circuit will be... It's the circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia in Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading to Barcelona next week. We've escaped the Middle East, we've had Saudi Arabia, we've had Bahrain, and we're back to Europe. Let's see then what comes our way. Another win for PSR. Smokey's final race on console, taking victory ahead of Bowman, the 2 NRX drivers, the 2 Shazoo drivers, Axe F1, Griffiths on the final lap as well. What a brilliant race we had. Greenhorn, final words.
Yeah, great race in the end. Well done to Smokey again in the end. What a fight back from Liam Bowman. Axe F1 just missing out on that top 5 finish, but overall I think that was a very enjoyable race for everyone. I sure enjoyed watching all those battles all the way across the field from the bottom to the top. It's a great fight back from Liam Bowman. He tried his best to get that top position, but PSR Smokey far too dominant on the day.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me once again. Let's do the same next week, and let's hope that somebody else can take the assists on last night, because for my men's mental health, I don't think I can do assists. Last night was hell. In Bahrain, it was hell. It was hell in assists, so we'll see. But again, thanks everyone for watching. Take care, have a brilliant rest of your evening, and a brilliant summer holiday. Bye-bye.